This is Dedrick Dodge, two-time Super Bowl champion. You're listening to Matt and Dexter on The Grueling Truth.
Welcome, everybody, to the 49ers Weekly Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network, brought to you by Replenishing Care Technologies, the future in sports medicine. For more on that, check out thegruelingtruth.net. I'm your host, Matt Andruscavage, and I'd like to welcome in my co-host, former 49ers running back, Dexter Carter.
Hey, Matt, it's good to be with you as usual, my man, especially, not that we're overly excited about a loss, but I tell you what, the 49ers, man, gave effort. That reminded me of the Florida State-Miami game a few weeks ago where nobody expected Florida State to be in it, but they gave a great effort and had an opportunity to win. And the 49ers did the same thing, and they came out, and I tell you what, I don't think anybody expected the effort, to be what it was, but they put themselves in a position to have a chance to win at the end, and, so that gives us a great opportunity to talk about this game and the good things that we saw, man, that they did.
Definitely. It was really something. I had the pleasure of going up and meeting up with the Wisconsin chapter of the 49er Empire, and man, they did a great job hosting. They did a great job at the tailgate. So many Niner fans up there, and the players were good enough to sign autographs by the visitor tunnel, and they put on such a great show for the whole country. They made it much more of a game than I think anybody thought it was going to be, and they really had a chance to pull it out.
Yes, they did, and you were there, and I saw it on TV, and I tell you, I was engulfed, from the beginning to the end, and there are some things, obviously, nobody's perfect, and there's things that I think the 49ers would do differently, especially defensively, but offensively, man, I tell you what, the receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, showed that the offense has the skill to put around any quarterback. And I was thoroughly impressed with our quarterback, man. He played extremely well. We've always been high on him. Nobody's putting him in the category of Garoppolo, but man, I tell you what, he played extremely well, under control, and protected the ball and got the ball to his playmakers' hands, man, and that made it very, very exciting, and that put him in a position throughout the game, even though the defense kind of faltered there at the end, he put them in a position to have a chance to win at the end.
Well, that's the thing, you watch, as you look over this offense, and this is that fine line of, okay, there's no moral victories. There was definitely a lot of things that could have gone differently. Had it gone differently, had a few more individual matchups been won, this game could have been won. But regardless of that, there's also that fine line of this was a fantastic effort by a team that has a lot of injuries. They are a very young team. They're going against a veteran team, one of the best quarterbacks in football, if not the best quarterback in football, in their place, a difficult place to win. And I was proud of the effort. I was disappointed by some of the mistakes, but I really was proud of the effort, and I can see just how good this offense can be. This offensive line was absolutely mauling the Packers' defense. They had no answer for Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert. They ran for like 200 yards. I thought the receivers did a good job, and you can see the difference of what it means to have Marquise Goodwin in the game. See, I'm still getting over losing my voice, so I probably don't sound exactly right, but I'm starting to get my voice back because when Marquise Goodwin caught that deep ball, that was something else. I mean, you can see the impact that he brings when he's out there.
Absolutely, and I tell you, I did not know he was a former Olympian.
Yes,
but he surely showed his long jump technique, which was the best technique I've seen on a non-sand running long jump.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, I'm telling you, his pre-set up, his takeoff, his movement in the air, and his landing was exceptional. I gave it a 10. That dude, he's a great athlete, and you're absolutely right. His speed is incredible, and his hands. I mean, usually you see guys like him, and you look back at a former Olympian. You can look at Willie Gault, who was with the Bears. You can look at the dude that was with the Raiders, their speed guy that played in the Olympics. I can't recall his name, but their hands wasn't what his is. I mean, he's got great hands, and he surely gives that long ball deep threat to the 49ers that every team in the league doesn't have. And, they were able to get the ball to him, and he is definitely a great asset for this ball club.
Oh, definitely. When he's out there, he stretches the defense. You have to respect his speed. And one of the reasons why the 49ers have struggled as of late is because he's been injured since week 1. Him not being there makes it a lot harder. Now, it's no excuse. You still got to win your individual matchup, but it does make things a lot harder when you don't have your speed out there to stretch a defense. It makes it much easier for the defense to kind of hone in on what's going on. And then you're missing Dante Pettis and Matt Breida. That is a lot of speed. But they had 2 of the 3 of those guys, and you can see the difference in the offense when they're out there. So I was very, very pleased with what I saw from the offense. I thought C.J. Beathard played an exceptional game at least through 3.5 quarters. Now, what happened in the fourth quarter is probably what separates him from becoming a bona fide starter in this league, at least at this point. I thought Beathard was accurate. The offensive line gave him a good pocket. They were able to run the ball and take pressure off of him. The Packers were not able to – they really didn't get a pass rush on him until late in the fourth quarter. He was able to step up. He was able to make good, crisp throws with really nobody around him. And you can see that he is a capable quarterback. The disappointing part was, though, he had to make a play in the last 10 minutes, and he just was not able to do it.
And those are the type of plays that the Aaron Rodgers and the Brady's make. And still with that, they could have won.
Yes.
If, one, you cannot, first of all, give 2 guys in this league. You cannot give Brady and you cannot give Rodgers. And I said it at the moment of both those games. You left too much time on the clock. I do know you can't procrastinate, and when you have an opportunity to score, you got to score. I get it. But what needs to be done at that point, defenses know these 2 guys, especially when it's 2-minute offense, and really it was under a minute and a half. You have got to protect the edges. You cannot allow a pass. They allow passes, like numerous passes that whole drive on the edges. And it's like, really? I mean, when it happened once, it happens twice. Okay, all right, we got to get outside and we got to funnel everything inside. My God, they were letting balls be caught on the edge. That is very frustrating. As fans looking at it, I know it's frustrating for them, but that's their job.
Yeah.
2-minute offenses are trying to get the ball on the edges, especially when they have no timeout, and get the ball out of bounds. And Aaron Rodgers directed traffic like, he was the air traffic controller of the year. Well, actually, he probably would be, but you know what I mean. I mean, he was directing traffic, and he was under control, and the defense and the defensive coaches just allowed it to happen. And when you do that, you're going to allow them to move downfield, and their field goal kicker, who had a terrifying week before, put him in a great position, to redeem himself, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, the thing is, as much as I can see the potential of this offense, I can see where, having everybody back, including especially Jimmy Garoppolo, this offense is going to just grow and blossom. I think people are going to be very pleased with the offense over the next year or two. And even this year, I think they're still going to show signs of the strength of this team is in the offense. But then, so they go down and score on the first drive, and then they immediately have a blown coverage. Fred Warner said he got caught up in the moment. Totally missed his assignment. Receiver streaks down the sideline. Boom, Packers right back in it. And then right what you're saying, in the last couple of minutes, guys are just coming wide open, and then they vacate the middle of the field. You cannot vacate the middle of the field against Aaron Rodgers. He runs even on a bad leg for 20 yards, and at that point it's like, wow, this is probably not going to end well. So the defense, to me, I thought there were some areas of improvement. I saw more pass rush than we have seen. They were able to get 3 sacks, including a huge one with 50 seconds to go that was negated by, well, a sort of penalty. Because since they were letting a lot of those go. But I'm not going to say that they lost because of that play. I think they lost because Beathard was not able to make a huge play in the last 10 minutes, and that's on the Niners. But they still did enough to find a way to win this game, but penalties will kill you. And then once at that point, you can't leave guys wide open.
Yeah, but I'm going to still say you can't blame a game on one play.
Exactly.
And
you can't do it.
And I'm not even going to direct it in Beathard's direction, because I'm going to tell you he still played well enough for the win.
Yeah.
When you have an opportunity to go into overtime, and as a defense, you literally collapse on the last drive, it's your responsibility.
Yes.
Actually, that Aaron Rodgers wanted to be in that position. That's what he thirsts for. Defenses should thirst for that opportunity to be in that situation and say, you know what, you're not going to drive all the way down the field on me and get in field goal position. I mean, they weren't close to field goal position when that drive started.
Yeah.
I mean, they were controlled. They called the right plays. They knew exactly how they could take advantage of the secondary, and they did, because you talked about the defensive front seven. Man, they played exceptionally well. And Blair, is his name Blair?
Yes, Ronald Blair had a great game.
Oh my goodness, he had a great game, and was putting pressure on Rodgers, getting to him. They all played well up front. And the second, the defense in general, both teams got 33 points scored on them, but defense played fairly well. I mean, both quarterbacks played well to move the ball. They made good plays. Players were in position, and the coordinators made great play calls. But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, because this is an offensive-driven league. So the plays that they ran, really the players took advantage of the plays and they produced. But when you get in the position to win it or lose it, Green Bay won it and the 49ers lost it.
Yes.
That's the way it was in my eyes.
Yes, I think it was a combination of the defense not winning their individual battles. I don't know exactly what's happening on the other side of Richard Sherman. Akilla Witherspoon wasn't even in the game. Is he hurt? What's going on? Nobody really knows at this point. Jimmy Ward, I actually thought Jimmy Ward had a pretty good game. I didn't see him really give up a lot. There were times he was challenged by even Devontae Adams, and I did not think he really just got destroyed. But he did hurt his hamstring again, and that's been the rap against him, is he just can't stay healthy. Once Greg Maben came in, number 26, that's where they kept lining Devontae Adams up, and Aaron Rodgers was able to just pick apart Greg Maben with a lot of great throws. There were even times Maben's defense was not bad, but the throw was perfect. But overall, I think the defense just did not win their individual matchups on the last drive, especially on the game-tying drive. And Beathard was not able to break their back by making a big play, keeping the chains moving. They had opportunities. There was one play where George Kittle popped wide open on a 3rd and short, and Matthews came in, and you could see Beathard was trying to get it over Matthews' head, but then he threw it too high for Kittle. And that was a problem, because had they been able to extend that drive, maybe they score a touchdown rather than a field goal, and it's a different outcome. There just needed to be one big offensive play and maybe one big defensive play. So they were close, but it's also, it's still a loss. The team, they had their chances, but I thought the team still made enough mistakes to lose the game.
Yeah, that's true, but they've got to find a way through this game to pick themselves up and move forward. Now, unfortunately, a week after that game, picking yourself up and looking at the positive and correcting the mistake and go against the Rams, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. The one great thing about it is, one, you plan them at home. It's still in the great state of California, so it's not far from L.A., but you are at home. And it's the 1995 Super Bowl reunion. You're wearing the throwback uniforms to 1994 season. We're going to be in town, so hopefully they'll continue to be inspired and want to show up and show out and have a good showing and put themselves in a position once again, to win, at the end, and just eliminate those, game losing situations that they did in the Green Bay game.
Yeah, exactly. So, to kind of put the Green Bay game to rest, I think we saw a good effort. I thought Kyle Shanahan called a great game. I think even Robert Saleh called a great game. Richard Sherman talked about it at the end. Don't be calling for Robert's head. He's calling a great game out there right now. The players are the ones that are not winning their individual matchups. So I kind of lean on the side of Richard Sherman. I think the coaches are calling a sound game. It's probably not perfect. There's probably some things we could point out where, it's like, wow, can't we get an adjustment, get a safety overs because they're just going after 26? That's probably true. But overall, I think the coaches are putting the team in a position to win. Right now, I think it just comes down to player execution. They got to keep getting better. They've got to find a way to keep upping their game, and they're in for a real challenge this week. They're going to be on a short week. They're going to be back home. I really hope the sight of the 94 team will inspire them. I think that would get me fired up, seeing all you guys out there. But, so hopefully we'll see a lot more of the same with the wide receivers getting open. I think Goodwin runs fantastic routes. It looks like Dante Pettis is going to be back this week. Hopefully Trent Taylor's back. So they're going to have weapons on the field. It's going to come down to, can they keep Beathard upright? Can they run the football? And then can they get pressure on Jared Goff and not allow Todd Gurley to run all over them? So these are big question marks that the Niners have to answer.
And they will answer them. They play well enough to build on, the entire both sides of the ball. I was very, very impressed that they didn't collapse, and that Green Bay, whom isn't part of the top echelon right now, but when capable, they can play well. Anytime you have Aaron Rodgers, you have the capability and ability to really destroy teams. And he played well, so they didn't lose against an Aaron Rodgers that, his knee was an excuse and he didn't play well. No, Aaron Rodgers played Aaron Rodgers-like, and the 49ers matched him. They matched him. So they just got to continue that and get better, and I believe they will. I really do, because defensively, I thought what we've been talking about, that front seven needed to show what they can do, and we believed in them for a couple of years, and that was a great glimpse of what can be. The better they play, the better the second level and third level play there at the linebacker and secondary level. Again, at the end of the game, though, you cannot give away the edges. That's it. If they fix that, they're going to be all right.
Yep. And, the thing is I thought Richard Sherman made a good comment this week or last week when he said youth, we can't really say youth is an excuse. There's a lot of young guys in this league that play at a high level. We got to find a way to play at a high level. And that's absolutely true. There's going to be, we have to expect some growing pains with a lot of the young guys, but there is every reason to believe that these guys have the capability of winning their individual matchups, and they have to do it. If the Niners are going to win, if they're going to be successful, it's going to come down to some of these young guys winning their individual matchups, and they're going to have to grow up in a hurry. That's just the nature of the league, and so we got to hope to see that on Sunday against the Rams, because the Rams they're a juggernaut right now. Everyone's predicting them to win the NFC, and there's every reason to believe that they can, but this is still a winnable game. But you're going to have to be – you can't have penalties. You can't have turnovers. And that was the other thing about the Packer game. They had 3 turnovers, and they still almost won the game. So they just got to put themselves in a position where they don't have to make so many more plays than the other team because they keep shooting themselves in the foot. If they can clean that up, they might be in this game.
Oh, and yeah, they have to clean it up, because even to be in the game with those turnovers themselves should have eliminated them, but they didn't. They continued to fight. And Richard Sherman said something that was so true that I'm just reiterating, and that is, you're in the league now. You're 6 games into the season. There's a whole lot of young guys. You got to grow up and you got to make plays and not use youth as an excuse. They're big boys now, and they got to make plays when the plays are there to be made. So I expect that to happen. They've got good leadership on that team. They got good leadership on that defense and that, offense. And, and surely Kyle Shanahan will continue to believe in him. He's got the right people in the right place, and they're continuing to show progress.
Yep.
And progress is a good thing when you lost your two top offensive guys. So progress is good, and they're going to continue to move forward as long as they continue to stay healthy from this point forward and continue to show progress. They're going to be okay.
Yep, I think so too. I think we should hopefully see some growth. The Niners they really don't have, they're not playing under any pressure. At 1-5, the odds of them making the playoffs are pretty slim. So it's kind of like last year. You go out and you just try to play the best you can, play loose, try to be the spoiler, and the pressure's on the other teams. But they have to get to the point where they are, like you said, they're growing up, they're maturing, and they're winning their individual matchups. So we got to see that on Sunday.
Absolutely, and that's what I expect to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing the game and seeing the team compete. That's going to be the key word, compete. If they compete, they're going to put themselves in a position, at least to have a chance to be in the game, because unless the Rams just flat out throw the game, have a turnover-laden day, and the running game is shut down and Goff just decides to not show up, it's going to be a tough day. But we want it to be a competitive day. And if you're competitive, then it gives you a chance, to be in the game. And when you're in the game, it's like making the playoffs. Anything can happen after that.
Yep, that's exactly right. So we're going to hope to see that. The nice thing is about this game is I'm looking forward to getting out there this weekend. This will be my second game in a row, and this time it'll be a home game, and it's going to be great because you're going to be out there as well.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you and having the chance for, my kids to see some of the sites there in San Francisco and just have a, enjoyable time. It's going to be very, very busy. A lot of things going on with the Super Bowl reunion and a lot of activities, so I'm going to have to try to figure out how to maneuver some things in there for me and the kids to do. And because there's some things you can't go to San Francisco and not do. You can't take the kids. You cannot not take the kids to see the Golden Gate Bridge. You cannot take them to see Alcatraz.
Yeah.
And that's just two things. The wharf, the trolley. What is it?
The cable cars. Yep.
I got to figure out a way to do it. So there may be some late nights. What? Hey, but San Francisco is like New York. Hey, at midnight, it's still rolling.
Oh yeah, it doesn't sleep.
So we may be riding cable cars at midnight.
Hey, got to do what you got to do, right?
Hey, which should be fun. The kids will have a great time, and I'm looking forward to it. So you have a safe trip out there, and surely plan on us having a safe trip also. Oh,
absolutely. Hope the same for you. I'm excited for the opportunity for your kids, and it'd be a great time for all of us. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful weekend and just all kinds of family, football, teammates, everything. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely, my friend. Hey, another great, show with you, my man. I continue to enjoy show after show, year after year. And now we get a chance to be face to face and have a chance to, matter of fact, what we're going to try to do, fans, 49er Faithful, we're going to hopefully spend some time going live.
Yeah.
It might only be 5-10 minutes at the most, but we're going to try to, we're not going to try. We are going to go live and have a chance to at least give you guys a little glimpse. But I'm going to go live a lot more because when I'm on the field, I'm going to be live. When I'm at the events and stuff, I'm going to go live. So hopefully you all will tune in and check us out.
Definitely. Be sure to get on Dexter's Facebook for all kinds of live stuff. So we're going to have a great time. We should hopefully see some good football and also enjoy a lot of great memories. So be sure to tune in to all of that. Want to thank everybody for joining us today, and hopefully everybody will be able to have an enjoyable weekend with football and enjoy your families. And so be sure to go out to thegruelingtruth.net for all your podcasts and sports. I appreciate everyone's who listens and who supports us. So with that, I want to thank everybody. And so for Dexter Carter, I'm Matt Andruscavage. You've been listening to the Grueling Truth Sports Network, the 49ers Weekly Show, where the legends speak.